Hey, everybody. I had a slight delay, but here we are today. We are going to be talking about triggers, trigger links, automations, all that kind of stuff for your funnels. So if you're joining me live, I'm using StreamYard. So make sure that you give StreamYard permission, and then I can see your comments. So let me just take a peek over here on the comments. Okay. All right. So sorry for the delay. I've been trying to do this for about a month, and summertime should be a little slower. I think we just need to work like 3 days a week, right? But it's not happening. I feel like I'm working more this summer than I have been for several months. I don't know if that's how it is with you guys, but I have a lot of balls up in the air and I'm just trying to juggle everything. So let me know in the comments if you are getting a break. I hope you are, or if you're just working hard. Hey, Carla, it's good to see you here. And I think Sharon's joining us live. So yay! I always love it when you can join us live. So today, if you're using Funnel Gorgeous or FGF, I'm going to talk about something called trigger links. And it's easy to get kind of confused, but I'm just going to break it down, give you a couple of analogies basically of how you can use it and what you would use it for. And then at the end, I'll just pop over to Kartra. I'll first show you in Funnel Gorgeous, but then I'll hop over into Kartra and talk about the differences there. But the bottom line is, whenever you're working in a funnel or any kind of a all-in-one marketing program, you need something to automate the whole chain of events, because you don't want to manually be remembering to do everything, right? Because that's when all of a sudden things slow down and you can't, you're just spending all your time putting out fires. Did I do this? Did I do that? Whatever. So the more that you automate, the more you create systems in your business, and I'm always preaching those systems, right? Then the more time you have to truly work on what's important to you. So automations is the key to the whole game. Well, how do you get automations to work? Within Funnel Gorgeous, they call them triggers. And so it's just another word for automation. And they also have something called trigger links. So let me just define the differences here. And I'm just going to look at my notes to make sure that I'm covering everything. A trigger link, the way that I like to think of a trigger link is it only has one purpose only. Now you can have multiple trigger links, but each trigger link only has one purpose. So let me give you an example. If you needed to get to the airport and you called an Uber or a taxi, it's a singular purpose, right? You're just going to the airport. That's all you're worrying about. You're good to go. All right. So think of that like a trigger link. You can create multiple trigger links, but they only have one purpose: to get you from A to B. A trigger, the difference about a trigger is you can start stacking the triggers, or you can start stacking the automations. So let me give you another example. If the doorbell rings, that truly is a trigger, right? And so what happens? Normally, the doorbell rings once I'm all situated in my cozy recliner and my feet's up, and then all of a sudden the doorbell rings, right? So that prompts me to do something. So I put the chair down, walk to the door, open it, and maybe there's a wonderful Amazon package that I'm waiting for. All right. So that would be one trigger. Another trigger might be you're laying in bed in the morning and all of a sudden that lovely alarm goes off. So that would be a trigger. Well, what trigger? You can determine what you want to happen. Okay. So some people kind of sleepwalk. They get out of the bed, they stumble into the kitchen, and they put the coffee on. So you had the alarm for a trigger, and then the action is going into the kitchen. you make the coffee, and maybe there's a built-in little buzzer that goes off when the coffee's done. And then the next trigger, you're kind of sleepwalking, and then you head to the bathroom. All right. So that's a whole series of triggers, and you don't even think about it. It's just automatic. Every day, the wheel keeps going round and round, and it repeats itself. All right. So if you're watching live, let me know in the comments if this is making sense to you. And if you're watching on replay, make sure that you let me know. So how do you use these things in your business? Within Funnel Gorgeous, or FGF, you would use a trigger link when you're really trying to jump off of that. So maybe you could track some activity, for instance. So a very common trigger link, and some people, they might not even be aware of what's going on, is if you have that unsubscribe link, people click on it, that's actually a trigger link. And that link then takes them to the page saying, okay, hate to see it go, but you're unsubscribed. Okay, so that would be one example of a trigger link, right? So I guess a good example, which I'll show you in a couple minutes here, is if I wanted to maybe direct people's attention to my services page so they could see what services I help them with. In an email or a text message, I could put a link saying, hey, if you want to learn about all of the services I offer, click here. And so that link is just taking them to my webpage, to my services webpage. All right. So that's all a trigger link does. But the beauty and the power of a trigger link is then you can nest it to regular triggers. And so a trigger would be if they click that link, I'm going to assign them a tag. And again, I'm going to show you this in just a minute. And that tag is going to say something like interested in my services. Okay. Then later, I could do a specific email campaign to anyone that has that tag interested in my services. And I could write a whole series of emails about, hey, are you feeling overwhelmed trying to get your business mapped out? Do you need help building your funnels? Do you need help mapping out a project plan for your business? So do you see how I could craft some specific emails just for that segment of the population? Another good example is one of my clients. She really has kind of like 3 mini databases. Okay. And so we're trying to determine what these 3 groups of people are really interested in. So we could have 3 kind of separate trigger links at the bottom of the email, door A, B, and C. And then based on which one they click, then we could put them into a whole series, a specific email just based on their interest. All right. So if you're watching, just give me a thumbs up or let me know if that makes sense to you. All right. So let me, I'm going to share my screen. Okay, let me move this guy out of the way. All right. So if you're watching live, let me know that you can see the screen. It looks like it's coming through okay. So we are inside of Funnel Gorgeous. So let me talk about trigger links first, and then we'll jump into triggers. So over here on the left side, under the marketing group there. So if you just click that little caret, it opens and closes it. And then you have something called trigger links. So again, a trigger link is basically just linking to a page or a certain area. Okay. So I had already built one, and it just points to my services page on my website. So all you need to do is just find a link that you're trying to track, and then you just click here, add a link, and you give it a name. I'm just going to say test 2 trigger link. And then you put in the URL. Let me see if I still have it. I do. Yep. So here's the URL. And I'm just going to save it. Now, let me just say one thing. Sometimes when you're inside of Funnel Gorgeous or FGF or Go HighLevel, which is really the back-end program, it may show up here, but sometimes I like to come up and just refresh my screen, because if you hop over to build your little automation with it, then sometimes all of a sudden it's not there. So I just tell people, when in doubt, go ahead and refresh the screen. And I was holding my breath for a second because I thought I was going to get the 9-dot death of doom there, but it came back. All right, so that's step one for a trigger link. I've just created that link. All right. And then the beauty is now you can embed that trigger link just into regular emails, or you can put it into campaigns. So let me click on campaigns. And I've already started a test campaign here. So I'll show you the test here. So let me just come down here. Here's the test copy of a campaign. And in this campaign, I just have a couple of emails. So I'm going to edit that email. I've already put this in once, but I'm just going to do it again. So if I wanted to say, need more help, click here. All right. And then I would just highlight that and come up here to where it has the little insert. Actually, sorry. Go here to my, well, you can do it one of two ways. You can just add the trigger link. I'll show you how that looks in just a second. Or click on insert the link. The insert link makes it a little prettier. And then down here, notice where it says link list. That shows me all of those little trigger links that I've just done. All right. So does that make sense? I first created the trigger link, and now inside of my email, you could also do this inside of a text message. I'm connecting to that trigger link. So I'm just going to do that. Under target, I always like to set this for a new window. So it opens up a new window, and then just say, okay. And there you go. So now when I send this email out and somebody reads this, need more help, click here. What will happen? It will take them to my services page. So you might be thinking, well, why don't I just add a regular link? What's the deal about adding a trigger link? That's what I'm going to show you. Okay. So let me just save this. And now let me come up here to my workflows. And within Funnel Gorgeous, workflows is kind of the new trigger kid on the block, so to speak. All right. So anytime you want to automate something, you want to hop into workflows, and that's how you do it. So I've already started one here, test workflow using the trigger link. And the first thing up here, you just want to give it a name. And just by way of reminder, on any of your workflows, make sure that you allow multiple and auto mark as read. Allow multiple means if somebody comes into this campaign more than once, it will run it. Occasionally, you'll want that turned off, but generally I have it turned on. If you have questions about that, you can just let me know. All right. And then under actions, I like to name my starting trigger. So now again, a trigger is like that doorbell. When A happens, do XYZ. All right. That's all a trigger is. It's a fancy if-then statement. So and this is kind of the starting rule, you know, when those horses go charging out of their little gates, that gun goes off, that's the starting rule. So the starting rule for this trigger, if I click on it, we can see what starts it. And again, I like to give it kind kind of a detailed name so I can remember, so I don't always have to come back in here. So I've named this trigger Work With Me Trigger Link. So hopefully I will remember that, oh yeah, I set a trigger link having people clicking on my services page. Okay. And I could change this if I thought that, well, maybe went to my services page trigger link. Doesn't matter what you name it, just as long as it makes sense to you. All right. And then down here, what is it that fires it off? And, you know, there's a whole, wealth of things, options down here, but I selected the trigger link was clicked. And then here I tell it which trigger link. So again, you can have multiple trigger links, but this is the trigger link that got clicked. Now I'm going to save it. And so I'll save it there also. Always save up here at the top right. So that's what fires this off. Then remember how I said you can link or chain things together. So what happens next? What I want is I'm going to add a contact tag. And again, when you add a contact tag, you can just create as many tags as you want. I tell people tags are free. So be generous in assigning tags to people because it will really help you understand your customer's journey or your lead's journey. And over in Kartra, another all-in-one platform that I use, we can even assign points. So just for fun, I assign points every time somebody opens one of my emails. So I can quickly look at somebody's lead and I can see what they've been doing or what they click on. So in this example here, if somebody clicked on that trigger link, visit my services page, I'm going to give them a tag saying in the future, they might be interested in working with me. All right. So let me know in the comments again, if you're watching on replay, let me know on replay if that's making sense to you. So again, I could add multiple tags if I wanted, but at this point, later when I look through, and you can also sort on your leads, if I wanted to create a campaign just for people that clicked on that particular page on my website, I could do that, right? And then the next thing I did was I put them in an email campaign. And that campaign is, I'm actually using a little template that I've already pre-written them and I've just added them there, and now I can save it. And then if I wanted, I could add a delay. Where is the delay? I could have a delay like 2 days, a week, whatever I want here. For some reason, I'm not seeing the delay. Oh, here it is, the wait. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll say 7 days. Okay. Wait for 7 days based on that. I'll save it. And then I could go ahead and I could send them another email. I won't go through everything, but I don't know. I'm just pulling things randomly. Okay. And so now they're in this whole little campaign. So let me kind of recap just a minute. A trigger link takes them just to one place. But what I want to do basically is monitor what happens. So if I send out a link in my email, I want to know that if somebody clicked on that, on the back end, I'm going to tag them. And then I can do all kinds of things. I can send them emails. I can generate certain campaigns just based on what their interest is. All right. So let me hop out of here for a second and just come back. So again, to recap here, the trigger link is under marketing and trigger link. All right. And then you can start building workflows based on that. All right. And again, a trigger is just that gun shooting off that starts an activity. So within your workflows, when you go to create a workflow, you have to have that starting point. So what triggers them? What triggers that automation? All right. Okay, good. Thanks, Carla, for letting me know. Now, not to confuse everybody, but in the Facebook group that I support people coming from different platforms. My two loves of my life is, of course, Funnel Gorgeous, and then also Kartra. Kartra is a completely different animal, so to speak. It's more visually inclined. But if I have any Kartra people on here, I just want to show you, basically it's the same concept, except you do it inside of the email. So instead of building it outside of the email, you do it inside. And so here I'm kind of in the middle. I'll do another full training just on Kartra sometime. But in the middle of building out this email automation, I'm building a new automation. And here, remember I said triggers and automation, it's just a fancy if then statement. So it's if, what do we want? So if a lead clicks on this web page, then what do I want to do? And there's all kinds of things I could do. I could subscribe to a list. I could assign a tag. Remember I said I could give points. I do that a lot of times just for fun. So if some of my leads on Kartra are high in points, it means that they've done a lot of clicking or they've opened a lot of my emails. Okay. Anyway, so you can just add basically any of these things. So I'll just say, for instance, I'll assign a tag. You can have categories here, and then I can just find the tag, for instance. Okay. Within Kartra, it's very easy. You can just stack the automations. You can just continue to build on them. All right. So I'll just save this. This isn't going to make much sense, but, and again, so here's one automation, and I can just continue to stack all of those automations. All right. Okay, so let me stop sharing the screen here and bring this back so that I can see everybody. So just a quick little recap here. Whenever you are working wherever you're working, you always want to look for systems, right? Because if you do something once and you know you're going to do it multiple times, then you might as well create a system. And you might as well create a system that works for you. And the beauty of these all-in-one programs like Kartra and Funnel Gorgeous is you can build these systems or these automations to run in the background. And once you get them set, you don't ever have to worry about it. So that trigger link, anytime I would send that out, I could add it just on a one-off email. I could add it to a sequence. I could do all kinds of things. That automation is built, and it's just going to keep on working for me. So automations are almost like a free way of getting extra help in your business. It's like hiring VAs, because once you get it set up, they just continue to work for you. And isn't that beautiful? And you don't have to pay them. It just keeps working. All right. So I hope this has been helpful. If you're struggling with any of this and you want some help, you can go to my services page. How's that for a little segue? Or just reach out to me. I have different ways that I help people. I can just do one-off sessions. I can also just jump in and do it. I have some automation packages if you're over the moon with all this tech stuff and you just need help, just reach out. And as always, if you happen to be watching this on YouTube, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel. So click the little subscribe button. And if you're in my group, just let me know what other training you would like to see. And I would love to offer some training for you. All right. So that's it today. Thanks for watching, and we'll chat soon. See ya.